A.C.B.A.
Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. Boog Nice coming at you with a quick update. Last week, I took a look at the Marvel Legends Strong Guy Build-A-Figure wave and did an overview of the wave and a review of the Build-A-Figure, so please check that out if you have not. I actually had to break it up over 2 days because I totally forgot to include the Black Tom Cassidy figure in the overview, so I did him the next day and reported on some information from the Fan Expo in Hong Kong. And while this image is up, it reminds me that somebody on Instagram had sent me this image, so shout out to the Collector 79. He shared this by way of the Yak Face account on Instagram, who does like a lot of like news and information and leaks and whatnot, similar to Rectangular, I guess, but just primarily on Instagram. So yeah, just kind of in tune and theme with this in the Hellfire box set. It looks like we are definitely going to be getting a Hellfire Goon army builder. We've all been anticipating this. I've been talking about it for the past 8 months or so, maybe almost a year, and this popped up in the computer system, so I'm assuming more information is going to be trickling out from Hasbro, from Marvel Legends over the next week. In fact, I have something else to report about in this video. It was the main reason why I was doing this update, but just a few more things before we get to that. I also showed the solicits last week for the S.H.Figuarts Avengers Endgame Final Battle Edition Thor and THANOS, and the pre-orders for both of those figures went up this morning, and as I anticipated, they kind of pricey, but they are there. The links will be in the description below. And a quick update on the Marvel Legends Sentinel, since I had that little meme up. As of about 2:00 p.m. Eastern time today, we are over 12,000 backers with 21 days left, so if you haven't hopped on board yet, you still got basically 3 weeks to do so. I think I'm gonna hop on board right before the end for another 2, so I'll have 5 total. Seems like everything G.I. Joe is what's hot on the streets right now. Everybody trying to army build the Cobra Trooper. This is a picture from my man Emiya. I haven't jumped on board just yet. I only have Snake Eyes. I reviewed some of the other figures from the first wave, but those actually belong to my man Danny. I gotta catch up. I think I'm gonna run up in Target in Harlem today and see what's up, and at least try to grab some troopers. What's not hot is the cautious optimism about the upcoming Spawn figure. McFarlane keeps giving updates, but it looks like he's kind of pulling a little bait and switch, and it looks like some of the articulation is lacking, and some things he promised he's reneging on. I don't know, man. I did actually back it for a friend of mine out in Colombia, so I did purchase one for him, but you know, the fact that there is no ab articulation, no torso articulation is just unfortunate, and Todd McFarlane seems like he is just unwilling to step into the future. And speaking of bait and switch, it looks like Mezco got us too. I just recently reviewed the Mezco Chapter 2 John Wick movie, John Wick. Please check that out if you haven't. I wasn't really pleased with the figure, but there's still a lot of information and a lot to take in the video, so again, please check that out. I also have the Marvel Legends Moon Knight on deck that I'm finishing up as far as reviewing, and the S.H.Figuarts Black Widow movie, Black Widow. I got a lot on my plate. I keep trying to get back to other things that I need to do. I will. I got a lot of content to put out in the next week or so. And finally, this beauty popped up online this morning. Popped up on the Hasbro Pulse site for pre-order. It is $49.99, which is kind of pricey. I'll talk about that a bit more shortly, but we did know that this was rumored to be a set for quite some time. Rectangular had talked about it, and I even talked about it again last week or the week before last, but we're gonna get Rogue in her modern costume and a classic Pyro. I'm actually not sure if that's intended to be a classic look for Pyro or if that was a more modern look for him from the comics. Let me actually check. Alright, so I did my Googles real quick, and it seems like this is actually a modern look for Pyro. Last I remember, Pyro was dead in the comic books. He had got killed some years back. He had made a brief appearance. He was resurrected. I knew all of this stuff. You know, I had to Google the more modern stuff, but I did know that he made a brief appearance in Uncanny X-Force as one of the like resurrected past villains that that team had to fight, and then I don't know where he was from then up until current time. time, where he has recently made a resurgence or re-emergence in the House of X, Powers of X storyline as part of the Marauders crew. And so this is a more modern take on his outfit, except that it seems like he had got some type of crazy skull face tattoo, and that's not represented here in this box set. All in all, he looks pretty good, but I think that if they were going to do a box set and price it at $50, there should have been some more flame effects for him to kind of represent him doing some different sort of shapes and formations with his flame effects. These are the same flame effects that we received with the classic Sunfire, if I'm not mistaken, and they should have included the additional head sculpt. Maybe that was something that happened fairly recently in the comic books. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't read anything after the first 6 issues of House and Powers, so all of the singular books that emerged after that event, I didn't really get into those yet. Truth be told, I think you could fudge it either way. You can use him as a classic Pyro or the more modern look, but he does get us closer to completing a classic Brotherhood. We just need Destiny, Avalanche, and a new Blob. This team was actually an honorable mention in my December video of the top 10 figures that I wanted in 2020. And in talking about the second figure in that set, the more modern look for Rogue, this is a figure that we have been anticipating since before the Puck Build-A-Figure wave, but I feel like this final version that we're gonna get is pretty nice, especially considering that they went with a more voluptuous or thicker lower half. That was one thing that Dwight really touted about this figure when they first showed her off at Comic-Con, I believe it was. You can see that her thighs are a little thicker, still sort of like a more slender upper torso, but I do think she looks good. And again, this is a more modern look for Rogue, so you can actually use her to almost complete your Uncanny Avengers or some of the more recent X-Men teams. It's funny, it crossed my mind that we might get a Rogue 2-pack and might be the modern Rogue along with a more classic Rogue. Being that Dwight had teased that sort of conjoined hand sculpt a couple weeks back, I thought we were going to get a 2-pack, but it looks like they stuck to the script and stuck to what was rumored to come out, and we're going to get Rogue and Pyro together in a set. Man, all of this recent box art has been phenomenal, and this is no different. This looks very good, and this is actually up for pre-order right now. There'll be a link in the description below, and also the Ultimate Riders Punisher went up for pre-order today as well. There will be a link for that down below too. Looks like a few may have slipped through the cracks already, and you can see this was found in Indiana. That's been happening a lot recently in Target. A lot of people have been getting lucky. That's why I'm gonna take my ass over to Target today. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about all this news. Let's discuss it in the comments below. Thank you for hanging out. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell down there. And until next time, peace.
That's crispy.